Welcome, guys. Yes, we're hitting you today with episode 1, The Night Agent.
Yeah.
We're going to give you our thoughts, bit of a review and a breakdown, so let's get straight to it.
A little bit of an action-packed episode.
It was.
So what did you think? What did you think of it?
You know what? I really enjoyed it because we had, like you say, it's been different to what we've been watching the past few weeks, and it was very action. And you know what? I loved it. I almost missed it in some of the things we've been watching recently.
I think, as you said, I liked it. It was just straight out action. Yeah. Not a lot of story happened, ironically. It's kind of like the other way compared to other things where we've had a lot of action. But I almost felt like it was almost reminiscent to those old spy movies. A lot of stuff felt like real action. That was me. You know what I mean? Like when we saw a bit of John Wick last week, I was like, it almost feels that kind of action, and I really liked it.
Do you know what? It was really good, and I thought it had good characters choices, good actors and actresses in it as well. I don't really know them too well, but I think they portrayed their characters who they were supposed to be quite good.
Yeah, to be honest, I don't know any of the cast. I think one person I know is that the director of the FBI, the deputy. I think I recognise his face, maybe.
Absolutely.
But I thought the main character dude, he seemed quite good, you know. It's nice to see a good bloke. Nice to see a good bloke on the telly for once.
Yeah.
You know, the lady with the kid, he got up there. It
was an interesting plot as well. The fact that, you know, you got Peter who works in the basement of the White House, and he's just kind of there, and he gets this call, and he's like, "Hello,
the hotline.
What's your name? Give me your code." You know what I mean?
The hotline from the Powerpuff Girls, yeah.
Yeah. And that was it. And I thought that was quite an interesting concept.
I think it gave us enough feelers to think, right then, what's happened with his dad. And I think it just enough of a hint of it. And obviously then we get the girl Rose, and she just like thrust into...
Yeah, she's handling herself quite well, to be fair.
She is, isn't she? I wonder if she's a sleeper agent of some weird things.
Double secret spy.
Yeah, double secret.
Okay.
What's the odds of a whole family?
Yeah.
And why are her parents not there anymore?
She's acting like she's...
Yeah, I wonder if there's some double bluffing going on. So I wonder if a whole family.
Yeah. She's going to get into that room with the director and be like, right, shut up, man, the guy's outside.
Yeah, exactly. So
she's above them.
So, what did you think of like the car scenes and stuff? They were good.
Yeah, do you know what? I enjoyed them, and some nice chase scenes throughout the city, which was good. And I loved the realism of this episode, Steve.
Yeah, it did. It didn't. I think we've watched a lot of sci-fi and a lot of random stuff lately, and this felt like it could have happened.
Yeah, the plausibility of it was brilliant. And there was one scene in particular that caught my attention. It was just after the train crash at the start, and he was obviously sitting there, and with the paramedics and stuff, and he sees the guy.
Yeah.
Right? And then as he goes to run, he tries to jump over the tape
and just gets absolutely smacked.
And that is the realism I'm on about. Is the fact that in a normal action Tom Cruise type film, he's jumped that, he's cleared it, he's done 3 somersaults over it. Where in this, he's tumbled because you wouldn't. You've just been hit by a train. You're confused. It's wet. It's dark. You're not going to be able to clear crime scene tape like a hurdle, are you?
No, I like the fact as well. Through that whole scene, he never regained that balance. Like you could clearly see, had he been a one-on-one and he'd been fully healthy, he'd have bested that guy.
Yeah.
But you could see every like the gunshots. Like I noticed at one point, he changed hands.
Oh, did he?
So I wonder if that was fatigue or because of the way he was turning. But he started to change. He was changing which hand was his lead hand and stuff. And I noticed obviously just those little things. And obviously he was running. You could see he was starting to lose breath as he was going through. And I really liked the realism.
Well, speaking of those little things that you just mentioned, like where he's changing hands with the gun, because I didn't notice that. There was a hidden detail that I noticed in there, which I don't know if you cottoned on. There was when he was taking off his top at one point, he was getting changed. There was a scar on the back.
You're looking at his pecs, were you?
Oh well, I did pause a couple of times.
Yeah, I did notice that.
It was just above a tattoo, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. So there was. Yeah, so it looked like to me, like he'd had some kind of spinal damage.
So it either looked like to me like some kind of spinal damage. If we go a little bit futuristic, it could have been like an implant removed or something.
Yeah.
Or 2, was it like a gunshot or something to the neck or an attack? Or did he have some kind of gang type tattoo removed?
Yeah, no, that's a key thing. Especially because in the scene where he's fighting the dude at the very start, at one point the dude falls over and pulls up and he's side of his jacket pulls
and,
there's tattoos. A massive snake tattooed on the side of it, isn't there? So I wonder if there's a bit more than going on, that's why he's tattooed.
I'm sure the guy who was attacking Rose's house had a face or a neck tattoo or a hand tattoo.
And obviously the ring as well had on his hand. But one thing I did love about that is when those people then invade his flat and he zooms in, and the ring is perfectly in focus.
But everything else
and
is
everything
blurry.
else is blurry around it. I was like, and then he zooms in more, and I'm like, that's not how zoom works.
I want one of those doorbells. I need it. But do you know what annoyed me about that scene? Because I thought those guys were out pretty quick when the White House guys were in. I'm thinking, hang on. Doesn't smell
Yeah,
right to me.
it seemed like they got out pretty quick. But again, the same thing
Are they
happened.
all together?
Yeah, the same thing happened though when Rose was in the house, didn't he?
Yeah.
Like he got out that house very.
At first, when that happened, and he came in, he was like, police, are you Rose? I thought that was the bad guy.
I'm gonna shoot
on a
him,
shirt or something. Yeah. I thought.
I did think, are these going to be the bad guys again?
But you know what? Talking about best scenes, Steve.
Oh, okay.
Now, usually in things like this, the ending is a little bit, anticlimactic sometimes in these action ones. This one, however, was fantastic in my eyes. I'm going to call it Baby Deception.
Baby Deception.
So to set the scene for anyone who hasn't watched it yet, this couple walks in and they've got a baby on a little carrier, and you can tell it's the bad guy who they've been chasing.
Yeah, well, you saw his face, didn't you?
So we know it's him. They enter this house and they're like, oh, we used to live here years ago, blah, blah. Some stupid old woman freaking lets them in, because that's what you do when someone says they used to live in your house. You let them in and show them around. But anyway, they're talking. The dad walks off round the corner to change the baby. Right? And then the woman's like, yeah, we used to grow up on that decking out there. And then the woman's like, I didn't grow up on that decking. We built that 5 years ago. And then it was the way the bad woman was like,
oh, this makes this easier.
Yeah, this won't take long then. Boom, strangles her with the same kind of
chicken wire in it.
Chicken wire, yeah. The guy, the uncle got killed in before.
What I did notice though, how strong is that guy? Because that woman weren't like a tiny woman. She was a bit of a beefy girl, weren't she? And he literally lifted her up.
Yeah. I was like, with the chicken wire around the neck.
Yeah, and I was like, this guy's a G, man. He
was good. And then obviously they walk out the house, and then at this point they head into the car.
And I instantly thought they didn't kill that baby.
I thought that.
I was like, no, they could not have killed the baby.
I was like, don't do this to the baby. Don't have baby death straight away. Don't want it.
I thought he was going to blow the house up.
Did you?
Yeah, I thought they'd let the baby know. They're going to blow the house up.
No,
and then I thought to myself, was the baby a robot? In my head before we see him, like, was it like something like this?
Oh yeah, like a
like a little moving around, and that was going to be the bomb.
It turns out, Steve, that they robbed that baby from a shopping mall and left it playing to some lovely music, and they left it on the table.
Yeah, I mean,
left a news report, wasn't it, in the background?
I'm glad it was 10 months old, though. That means you can survive a little bit longer without food. But yeah, I felt a bit sorry for the baby.
I enjoyed the scene though.
It was a very good scene. It was very. I knew that one was going to die as soon as they stepped up, because it's like, why are you letting random people in your house, man?
Right.
Ooh. What my best scene?
Of course, I'm sorry. How could I forget
I know.
Give me your best scene then.
My favourite scene of this was the car chase scene. So I loved that from start to finish. He's just driving along, and he starts to notice. But it wasn't that. It was the fact that at certain points he's like, grab the wheel, and she's driving. They're going against oncoming traffic. I loved it. I loved the whole gun shoot. Everything was brilliant.
Do you know I love that scene where they shot the wind mirror, and then she was like, oh my God, and he was like, let me look. Oh, it's just glass, you're fine.
Yeah. It's just, you're bleeding out your skull, it's just a bit of glass.
Yeah, you've not been shot, so I don't give a shit.
And I love the very end of that car chase scene where he's like, hold on. She's like, oh, fucking 1 mile on. Then he just smashes straight into the car. I was like, are they going to go head to head?
I thought at that point they were going to go off the bridge.
Yeah, well, that would have been like a bit good, wouldn't it?
Jump out, like, heroic.
But I just really loved that car chase scene because it felt, again, I think
real.
It felt real. Yeah. You could see the swerving, and obviously when the cars finally started stopping, I was like, that's exactly how people would drive.
Yeah, because when they overtook cars, you saw them stop as well. Where in a lot of things, they're just carrying on driving. You're like, you wouldn't drive.
Oh no, that's like people started to like move in and out. And you could see it felt like they had a grasp on the realism.
Yeah, I applaud that.
Yeah, I think they did really good. I'm really enjoying it. So right then, Ben.
Yeah.
What's your future predictions?
Future prediction for me, right, Steve, is the fact that his dad, they were going on about him being a traitor, Peter's dad. I reckon his dad is alive, and he's not only alive, I think he's connected to the death of Rosie's aunt and uncle.
So I think this too, but I don't think Rosie's uncle was a gazelle and sidewinder. I don't think they were bad people. I think they've been betrayed by the government, like his dad. So I think they were all a group together.
Ah, you reckon?
So I think they're out to, basically, whoever in the government is messing up. They're out to try and get them exposed.
Or do you reckon that Peter's dad was called a traitor because of Gazelle and Signwider.
Oh, and you reckon?
And then that's why they were panicking, because they thought, okay, we forgot to finish him off. He's coming after us.
Yeah. So you think actually the dad's on like a almost revenge mission?
Yeah.
But he's not.
He's trying to tie up the loose ends or the bad people in the White House. So he's trying to get rid of all the bad people.
Oh, that's fair enough. Anyway, guys, let us know what you thought of the episode. Would you carry on watching it? You know, was you a bit sad for that baby at the end? Because I definitely was.
And what would your code name be?
What would your code name be? Yeah, what would your code name be? Ben's would be Knobhead. So
I'll take it.
Yeah, and we'll catch you next week with something new.
Take care.